7 years ago, I saw Blaq guys perform here at East West, and as soon as he began, I started to cry. I cried through the entire performance. And the reason that was because his words touched my heart, but they also stayed on my mind. Now that's 7 years. I know him now for 7 years, and I know he walks his talk, okay? And he doesn't just walk it, he makes a path for others. So I bring you Blaq Eyes.
I need everybody at East West University to make some noise right now.
Yeah.
And now I need all the ugly people to be quiet. Chicago. Almost 800 murders last year. Do your math, that's more than double the days there are in a year mothers fear their babies not making it home from school. Unemployed brothers ain't got time to look for a job, but got time to be on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, acting a fool. And these gangs out here ain't following no rules, they ain't got no structure. But they knew exactly what they were doing when they killed our movement and assassinated our leaders. See, there's an old saying, cut off the head and the body would fall. I said, cut off the head and the body would fall. Let this be a lesson to all y'all. And I'm appalled that some of these Chicago artists who boast to the world on how their lyrics be so cold. And some of them will get right on stage at the Grammys and talk about how God saved their soul. But won't get out here and go to East West or get out here on none of these streets to even try to save just one soul. And the church, if you're really there to help save lives, then let me make a proposal. If the church you attend ain't involved in community affairs to help save lives, then stop paying your tithes. And as for the Black Lives Matter movement, I said, and as for the Black Lives Matter movement, you didn't think I was going to let you off the hook, did you? I believe that Black Lives Matter, but when a Black Lives going to matter to black people? March in the hood like you do downtown. Shut down some of these gas stations and liquor stores that become breeding grounds for our babies to get shot down like you do these businesses on Black Friday downtown Chicago. Home of the world champion Cubs. The Bad News Bears. Home of Michael Jordan and the Chicago bullshit. See, I don't think y'all understand. What's going down in Chicago has always been about land. And I recognize the hustle. But did you ever notice that as soon as they tore the projects down, the crime rate in Chicago doubled? Displace these gangs to go live where those gangs live. Let them kill one another. So what if an innocent baby gets killed? We'll go to the funeral, send flowers to the mother. In the meantime, let the land on the south side and the west side become devalued. It ain't no scholar, but in our community right now, they selling vacant land for just $1. And like the land that the projects used to stand on, they gonna build retail spaces and condos. And while you're addicted to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and your babies are addicted to nachos and cheese. Little baby Chucky say cheese. Chicago. Almost 800 murders last year. And we all have a responsibility to come out of the nightclub and get in these streets. Get out of the four walls of the church and get in these streets. Get off of your social media soapbox and get in these streets. See, we all like to talk, and we love for our voices to be heard. But when are you going to realize that it's your actions that speaks louder than your words? That's that piece. Ice. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I thank you so much for giving me the honor to be here in your presence today. Because when I look out here, I see my future leaders, my future congressmen, my future aldermen, my future ball players, my future professors. I see those who are sitting before me with the minds to shape the new world to come. Those who are running the world today, they're in their 60s and their 70s. I give them maybe about 10, 15, 20 more years. It's going to be your turn to take this mantle. And I'm so glad that you who are sitting up in here today don't look at color. Don't look at race. You look to the left of you and the right side of you. I see about 5 or 6 or 7 different nationalities up in here today. And that's the way that God intended it to be, because there is only one race. And what's that? The human race. Y'all agree with me? What I need y'all to do for me right now is give Professor Adams a nice round of applause. As she stated before, we met each other about 7 years ago. I was here at East West University, and I pour my heart out everywhere I go. And we connected. She wrote a beautiful article, and you can still Google my name, and her article will come up in regards to her review of my visit here at East West University 7 years ago. So I thank you. My organization thanks you. Thank you. I want to take this time to introduce the amazing, award-winning international organization, We Are Artists Activists. This stands for People of Extraordinary Talent. And this is my crew, Poet. Poet! So every time we say poet, we need y'all to roll with us. Right? And then, I said, this is my amazing, incredible, awesome crew with me right here. Squad. Poet! Poet! That's what I'm talking about, right? So, when I was invited up here, one of the first things I told her is that I'm not coming by myself. See, individually, we're great. But collectively, we powerful. When you walk through the door, and you see 5, 6, or 7 people, they all got the same mission, they all got the same goal, they all unified for the same purpose. People stop in their tracks because they see unity. And let me tell you something about unity. The word unity is in the word universe. Verse means many, uni means one. So yeah, we move in oneness, although there's many of us. And some people will say, well, Black Ice, I just roll by myself. Michael Jordan thought that too. When Coach Phil Collins was coaching the Bulls, Michael Jordan had that same mentality. And when Phil Jackson came, he had a mentor that said, Mike, you're not going to win any championships being the best scorer in the NBA. You're going to win championships by getting all your teammates involved and on the same mindset and making them better. So we got to roll with a team. We got to roll with Firekeeper. Y'all give it up for Firekeeper. This lady right here just won the National Poetry Award for National Spoken Word Award for Best Up and Coming Artist. That's Lady Jo. And this Sunday, she will become a published author for the first time in her life this Sunday. We have Word Warrior right here. He's called the Loud Poet. He's called Poet Crazy. And y'all can find out when he gets up here. We got the enforcer, Big Mike, in the building. Give him a hand. This young lady right here, she just got off stage an hour ago at the Harold Washington Cultural Center. They're running a stage play called King of Policy. And she is one of the stars in that stage play, King of Policy. She's a published author. She's a national poet, award-winning poet. She just won last year the Best Female Spoken Word Artist in the Nation at the Spoken Word Awards. Give it up for Miss Evans. And this young lady right here, she's been on the scene for about 17 years. And she's a mentor, she's a coach, she's a counselor. People, please give it up for none other than No More Drama. Yeah. No More Drama also is about to become a published author for the first time in her life this Sunday, y'all. So, I titled this program today, Freedom of Speech. Everybody say freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
Why? We know that we have the right of freedom of speech, right? But some of you all feel that you don't have the right to be free with your speech. So in order for Black Ice to be who he is, I got to be able to talk about things that hurt me in my life. I got to be willing to face embarrassment because of some of the decisions that I made in my life. Because see, what I've been through is going to help some of you all out in your life. Because what I've been through, some of you all are probably going through. But I had to come to the realization that God wanted me to go through what I went through in order for me to get to where he wanted me to be. And that's right here at East West University. Can I share something personal with you guys? I was 15 years old. Joe, make sure that's still right. I got my 14-year-old girlfriend pregnant. I was attending Simeon High School. Yeah. On the Derrick Road, Wolverine for life. And I was excited. I was young, but I was excited. Like, cool. I've never been one, none of the men in my family have ever been one to not take care of their children. I've always had a father in my life. I've always, I just, that's all I know. So I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but I'm going to do what I got to do. Well, 14 years old is kind of young to be having a baby. So my mom forced her to get an abortion. This was something that haunted me my whole life. Because when I finally had my first son, September the 3rd, I'm sorry, not September the 3rd, July 22nd, 1993, named him after me and everything. 15 years after he was born, he died from cancer. He was diagnosed at 13 years old. He attended Urban Prep High School. So it still hurts to this day. Man, I'm just telling y'all. So I wrote a piece about both situations. I wrote a piece about my son passing away. And I was coming home from a tour from Jamaica. And it just hit me. You've already lost a son involuntarily. And then one was taken away voluntarily. So I wrote this piece I want to share with you all. It's called Mission Aborted. I remember times that I wish that I could forget. Yet it's etched in my brain like stone. Sometimes I sit alone think and wonder. How many abortions have the women I slept with in my past had because of me? See, I just felt like today at East West University was the day for me to tell my story, because for years, I kept it hidden deep down inside of me. It's time for me to let it go, Professor Adams. I want to be free. I can't say that I know or recall every one, but I remember the first. I was 15 years past birth, and I was in love with Pumpkin, a 14-year-old freshman from Simeon High School. Thought that I knew it all, thought that I was cool, but the Bible says, professing themselves wise, they became fools. So I began breaking rules, ditching school and cutting class, all in an attempt to get some aspirations to become a rap star. See, I was well known to be cold with them bars, but my heart had me locked up, stuck in a standstill. I couldn't see past this girl. She was like the center of my world, and everything revolved around her. I had never felt like this before. I was even cool with her parents, who for me kept an open door, but that was all before she was late. And no, I ain't talking about for lunch. I'm talking about no visitors this month. And now we both scared. Wondering what would our parents think. They are the ones who really cared about us and our future. We literally ripped their dreams apart, and this couldn't be mended with no suture. But we got to tell somebody. We didn't know what to do. We were only babies ourselves doing what grown folks do without a clue of the consequence. Until we had to deal with the consequence of sex with no protection. And it's too late for me to pull myself out of this one because now she's expecting. And I'm expecting her dad to kill me on sight. See, my father always taught me to do what's right, but now that I'm on center stage, somehow I've gotten stage fright. So we talked and she asked, what was I thinking? And without even blinking, I said, baby, I'm not ready to be a father. And see, for her, this only made things harder. So she told her mom, who forced her to get an abortion, and along with my coercion, I can only imagine the pressure at 14 that she must have been under. Too young to know the procedure, I didn't even care. Only wish that she would have made me be there. Maybe I needed it. See, things don't register the same unless you see it. And then you can believe it. And now, she's left with a permanent scar from a decision that we both made. And she's the only one who paid. Or at least that was what I thought. See, you can run from a situation, but sooner or later, your ass gonna get caught. I felt like it was all my fault. And over 20 years later, my child that was aborted when I was at the age of 15 has now come back to haunt me. My firstborn at the age of 15 was taken away from me. He died from cancer. Too young to know the physical pain of an abortion, but now I know the answer is clear now. I see the picture. And it takes me back to that same scripture. Professing themselves wise, they became fools. So to the young people up in here from East West University, please stay in school, learn from my mistakes. Don't wait until it's too late. I apologize. I'm sorry. I wish that I could go back, change, and rearrange things. If you only knew the consequences that choices and decisions bring. See, y'all, at the time, I was only 15. And I remember time that I wish that I could forget. Yet it's etched in my brain like stone. Sometimes I sit alone thinking, I wonder, how many abortions have the women I slept with in my past had? Because of me. I just felt like today at East West University was the day for me to tell my story, because for years, I kept it hidden deep down inside of me. It's time for me to let it go now. I want to be free. Freedom of speech. Are you at the point where you're free to talk about your hurt and your pain? To talk about your trials and your struggles? Are you free to speak about those things? We're talking about freedom of speech today. Do you know that through your story, other people get healed? We all talk about a testimony, but you can't have a testimony without a test, and you can't have a message unless you've been through some mess. Some of y'all want to steal it. I already see it. So, I just want to share with you guys a little bit of my journey, my story, my life. I'll talk to you a little bit more, and I'll tell you more about that story about my son who passed away a little bit later, but as y'all can see, I'm a little bit emotional now, so I'm going to step to the side and let some of my brothers and my sisters come up here while I pipe down a little bit. So we have something in the poet organization that we do, and when we ask you, are you ready for the next poet, we want you to say, can he flow? He's been on the scene, as I said before, 17 years. She's about to become a published author. This Sunday at Studio Movie Grill, we will be bringing out our 5th book, our poet anthology book. And one of the things that we do in the organization is that some people may not afford to bring out their own book. So what we do is a collaborative book all together. And again, there's power in unity and there's power in numbers. So we all can come up together. We ain't got to leave nobody behind. Even if I've been in the book before, I'm gonna be in it again just to be in it with you, and it's your first time. We got to switch our minds to think about unity versus individual. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, are y'all ready for the first poetess?
Yes, she
Y'all already know. Please put your hands together for No More Drama.
First, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Why?